PB somehow. Yep. Well, this is a first. Easy come, easy go. I mean, I had to play that so aggressive on the solo F act because I just got like one more tick than I wanted. But gotta get used to that. Fuck. This would have to be flawless. And I overdid it. No, I did not just hit that and then fuck it up. No, I did not just do that. Well, it's possible. Damn, how many frames? I mean, that, like I said, that was hoping for a miracle, but it was possible. I've hit an 84 a single time. Fuck. That's a bummer. I think that was an 84. Holy shit. Holy fuck. 50210. Oh my god. Oh my god. I tied the task. Dude, I don't even... Fuck. I don't even know how to process this. I don't think JPrez had any chokes past the Solo F bridge act. I had the one that was on 502002 that I missed the green strum immediately after the bridge back end. That was actually before he posted. I think it was after he got the 502, but it was before he posted it. I'm having kind of a weird reaction to this right now because I basically entered like a total glazed trance after I hit the Solo F bridge back end. I didn't even like process hitting the final act back end. Oh my god. I just didn't even process it. Because also the way that I hit the, I mean, I don't really think it matters what method you use to hit that last act, but in this game, when you hit two notes so close to each other, it honestly might be like if they're a frame apart. The flame on one of the notes at least has a chance not to render. And usually when I'm like going through that act, whether it's at the start, I'm just practicing it on a fuck up run or whatever, I don't see that initial red flame rendering, so I never really know if I overlap it or red flame it. So that I was just holding my breath until the very end. So now I've been avoiding looking at ScoreHero for a bit, but I think this might be it. So I just spent about 10 minutes looking through the set list on ScoreHero. I've already looked through the Xbox Live leaderboards for any missing scores that were on, and there were some notable ones that were missing on here, but I wanted to double check before making any claims. Today, November 22nd, this is, I mean, slightly dampened by the lag scores, of course, but this is now 74 out of 74 untied first places. No lag glitch, of course. Now this, I am almost positive, has never been done in the series because there's almost always like easy optimals, whether, you know, GH2 has a ton of them, like My Name is Jonas and Cities on Flame. But even still, I'm almost sure that they're littered all throughout the series. Guitar Hero 80s, that was the big game that I forgot last time that I brought this up. And that has tied optimals on both 17 and So Far Away at the very least. So yeah, I don't think this has ever been done in the Guitar Hero series. And that distinction may not sound important to some people, but it is massive. Just for reference, I achieved the 74 out of 74 first in general on Thunder Horse, I guess. I really finished up the Xbox grind with the Trooper, which I'm currently editing now. But that was October 20th. Yeah, like I said, today is November 22nd. It has taken over a month to get these, you know, this one was obviously just reclaiming this ridiculous first place. But besides that, a really difficult one was Elephant Bones, getting the first optimal on that. And then a step up from there, a big step up from there in difficulty was Extreme, getting the second and third doubles for the 518, 566 equivalent on Xbox. I'll go through this all on the ScoreHero page in a separate recording. But then a step somehow up from there was the Misirlou optimal, and that was what really kept me from getting this for so long, because I was working on that before JPrez got 502, quite a bit before, and it just took so long that by the time I finally got it, he had taken first on this. So that was pretty heartbreaking in a way. I wasn't really thinking about it at the time just because I was so ecstatic to have gotten that optimal, but... And the thing is, I was gonna go for this 502 anyway, but even him just getting 502002, like the cutoff, made it so much harder. Every single tick is so incredibly hard to come by at this point, and that is why getting 50210 here is just so insane to me. So like I said, I'll go over the more nuanced details of the full game stuff in a separate recording, but let's focus on this run for a minute here. I don't even want to guess how many times I've hit that second act. Well over 100 at this point. I've gotten more consistent at it than I ever wanted to say the very least. I never wanted to have to be this consistent with it. And I think it really just shows that for as consistent as I thought I was getting that 501-990, and how I said, like in that video, this really just shows how, how hard I pushed the song the first time around. The fact he was able to pick this song back up on this new path, and I don't know how experienced he is with extended hit window or anything, but the fact he was able to just come back to this and pull that off, like, those timings must be so baked into that dude's DNA, I can't even imagine. But that's essentially what I had to do to get this. And that was the heartache of missing that first 502, even though, like, my focus was spread across so many different things that, like, if I had known how, like, close he was, I probably wouldn't have even bothered at the time. But, by the point that he had gotten the 502, I was starting to really get there in terms of just intimately familiarizing myself with these whammy timings, specifically the first two after the second act. And so I felt like, again, I had the 502002 choke before he posted it, so I was definitely there. I was definitely at the point where I could have done it, but for everything that I went through since, I don't feel like I was justified to have gotten it first. And like good old Hell Ashes said, you can always do something better, but there can only be one first, and he won the race in that regard. So again, big congrats to him. I'm just glad I was able to get something out of this. I don't particularly care that much about holding the Jordan record. This was basically just a means to an end to get this full game Untied first, because this will never happen again. It can't, at least in terms of no lag glitch. There's just, you can't push Misirlou, Tripping on a Hole, Freya, like those songs just don't have anywhere to go. I mentioned this in the first 64 out of 64, like I was stressing out about being able to pull that off. That pressure that I felt going for that was absolutely nothing compared to the pressure I felt trying to pull this off, because you can always tie a first, but I can't get this opportunity again. All it took was one person tying one of those optimals, and this was over. And adding that to just how difficult this score was to beat, the pressure was just, this ate me alive, really. I'm honestly just dumbfounded that I was able to actually do this. This was not something that I ever anticipated going for, just because, again, the fleeting nature of it. And the real fact of the matter is that anyone could have really went out of their way to stop this. But I guess, people are busy with other stuff, and that's just the nature of it. I mean, don't get me wrong, tying Misirlou, for example, would not be a walk in the park for anyone. But yeah, there are players that are definitely good enough to have tied some of those optimals before. But this is a snapshot, a fleeting moment in time, because, again, this is completely out of my control to maintain. But goddamn, does it feel crazy to have actually done it. I didn't know if Misirlou was even possible. I didn't think I would ever be getting that Elephant Bones optimal. The extreme score I knew would be just an utter nightmare to go for, and it was. And that was before I had to beat a 502 on this song. So, holy shit, dude. So before I keep forgetting, because we can address the rest of the stuff later, back to this run. This was a 42 post solo, which is a plus 20. I believe I got plus 4 pre-sweeps and then the 16 on the back end. 42 is still the highest amount I've gotten on an upper bound run. Back when I was doing the nearly ideal second act, I got at least a 24 on the solo. I may have gotten a 28, but I don't really feel too comfortable saying that. So at the very least, this is -4 from my personal best on the solo. But somehow, man, some fucking how, just like J-Prez, I managed to get, what I now know is not optimal, but is so fucking close. The way I discuss solo FX is by saying, like, I said this in my 990 plus 72. That meant that on that run specifically, I was at 18 ticks before the solo F sustain started, and then I was at 90 after. So it's not actually getting 72 points, it's just like the easiest way I can discuss the variance. And so this run had a plus 80. And again, I've gotten the plus 84 twice now, but it's just a complete crapshoot because it's essentially, it's an even worse version of the second act upper bound in regards to the strum limit and also just how hopos interact with strums. So you have both those things working against you. But yeah, so this is -8 from my total sum of best, which is fucking bananas. And I did actually do some task work on this for the solo act before coming back to the song after the 990, just because I wanted to get a real idea of like what was feasible to shoot for. And now knowing that 84 is possible on the solo F bridge act, optimal on this song should be 502 42. Now, that may sound insane, but where all those extra ticks are coming from, you know, obviously with a frame perfect solo act, which is just fucking stupid for so many reasons. First reason for that is you can't even abuse extended hit window properly on that front end. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2 frames max you get with extended hit window on the front end, but you literally cannot abuse extended hit window to its maximum on that front end because the notes are so close together. It's like a Beast and the Harlot, or even the Misirlou first act can fuck you in that regard. Even though these are hopos, so that seems even stranger. Even if you try to use extended hit window on the orange, you also can't do that because the strum limit fucks you. So yeah, abusing that front end is basically just like completely unreasonable to its max, and especially under the pressure of both the upper bound second act and amazing whammy. Yeah, it's just a total crapshoot. But the real place where all those ticks are coming from is the buffered first frame whammy mechanic. You know, of course, in addition to getting frame perfect activations of those whammies, which is its own nightmare in and of itself, especially again after second act. But yeah, so that's where the rest of those come from. I've tried to use that mechanic on many different songs in many different places, and unless it is very straightforward, I don't know, man. It's just so fucking precise. And what really makes it so precise is that if you whammy on the frame that you activate the sustain, it doesn't function. That's what makes it so fucking hard to use. If it weren't for that, it would be way more feasible. I also want to make this clear. I mean, hopefully it kind of came through in the fact when I said, like, I don't specifically care about this song all that much. I am, like, 95% never playing this song again in my life without a gun to my head. And even in that scenario, I give myself a coin flip, 50-50. I might just say, you know what, I've had a good ride. I'm not doing this again. That was the other, you know, as sad as it is to say, that was like the other huge motivation for finishing this off, is just I don't want to ever have to think about playing this song again in my life. And now having, you know, gotten the full game Untied first, I don't see any reason that I ever would. So yeah, that's all I really have to say for this. I need to get into recording the ScoreHero scroll through for proof, because this is not a situation like the 64 out of 64 first, where, you know, oh, I had to go back for Thunder Horse and pick that up and then post that early. Like, this is it. Because again, at any point, this could be shut down in a way that I can't do anything about. My God. Good fucking bye, Michael Jordan. G fucking G, and you can take this personally. God, this feels great to erase. Alright, hopefully this is the last time we'll have to do one of these, at least for GH2. May sound confusing because I didn't post the 64 out of 64, and I probably won't post the 74 out of 74 with Tied first on the Thunder Horse video. But yeah, this is the third time I've done this now. So go ahead and get into it here. Forgot to start on all for some of these, like Surrender, it's important. Although I will have to look at some console specifics on PS2, especially. Again, this is a lag score. This is pretty much completely unbeatable without lag. Strutter. Shot at the Devil. Mother. Cherry Pie. Woman. Another lag score. This one is beatable, but this last act, I've actually spent more time trying this in recent times when I just got fed up with other stuff, and oh my God, this last act is so fucking hard. Like, I've gotten within a frame of it at least a couple times, but dude, it is absolutely brutal. Thankfully, ticks are not very good, not that great on this run, on this lag run, so but even still, it will be a nightmare to beat that. I still kind of want to eventually though, without lag. Tonight. Wayward. Search. Message. I mean, yeah, you can see some of these are just by still a single tick, especially some of these ones I did much earlier on relatively in my expedition with this. And some of them are by a single point. I should probably go back for that third act Nearly Ideal someday. Monkey Wrench. Hold on. So I initially wasn't gonna include the proof for this because I thought it was completely irrelevant, and it kind of is, but just in case, you know, somebody wants to fight about the adjusted score or whatever, yeah, here is the optimal on Monkey Wrench. No lag, of course, on Xbox. So as for these videos I'm including, I'm just doing a quick skim through to prove that they did not use lag. I did this on the other recordings as well, and there were way more videos for those that I had to include. That's the only good thing about how long some of these took. This month, this entire month has just been basically like a handful of songs, because everything I had left to do was so fucking hard. I guess that's the one good thing about it, is that I don't have as much stored up due to my limited time for dealing with the videos on on top of playing. I really only need to show the front ends here, but so yeah, even if for whatever reason people were discounting this, I've already done the deed on that one. Girlfriend, and this is why, partially why this Untied business is so much different, is for shit like this that I tied and I went back, and it wasn't for like this ultimate goal of a reason. I just honestly kind of hate tying for first if I can help it, but that's where I guess this stubborn attitude came into a benefit. And again, another lag score, completely untouchable without lag. Same deal here. Tanner actually commented on my video of this saying that he thought he only used lag for the third act's upper bound or something, but that doesn't make any sense. The score is completely ridiculous and like way beyond what you can realistically do without lag. The upper bound squeezes are possible on this song from my TAS, but particularly the second one, which gets you the most points, is completely ridiculous. It's like 3 whammies frame perfect. Like completely, in my opinion, undoable. Jessica, if I went back for this, I would do this on Xbox to shoot for 346, but again, same thing here, tied Doughboy on this, and just, I don't know why, being stubborn, I just had to go back for the Untied. Another one I need to redo at some point. And yeah, this is the kind of song that was like, anybody can just come along, any of the best players can come along and get this, so this really is just kind of like a very limited opportunity. This is another one I've improved, but there's no point it's irrelevant to show that here. I don't think I have it open. No, I don't. Freya, this one's a bit harder, but again, stop. I guess I'll just show this for the PS2. So I guess technically it's 75 because of this, which is these two paths are completely incompatible with each other, unlike basically every other adjusted score, with a couple asterisks attached. Thank God nobody beat this bullshit by now. This is kind of an interesting one because this is one of the few exceptions I found on the Xbox Live leaderboards. Matthias Hero, his score on the leaderboard was 365,404, so it was actually higher. It was actually first place until I guess I went for this earlier this year, and he just never posted it for some reason. Yeah, it could have been using lag, so it could have been irrelevant anyway, and without proof, I don't really trust scores anyway. I to rest. Psychobilly. YYZ. It's another one that's been improved but is irrelevant to show. Carry Me Home, another one I need to redo at some point. Institutionalized. Another one I'll probably redo, at least to get that last act if the first one is just too annoying. Maybe redo this someday for 639, who knows. Might even redo this, honestly, just to get 700 because this is so annoying. This is also another notable Xbox leaderboard exception where Sean Superstar's score is 512 on the leaderboard. So again, apparently he had first for all this time. Just never posted it for some reason. Very strange. Because it's not like, I mean, I don't know. He posted scores way more recently than 2010, so might redo this at some point because these ticks were really bad. Might redo this at some point, both for just better ticks and the final squeeze, but who knows. Another one that's been redone, just irrelevant to show. It's one that I need to redo for sure. It feels weird to be scrubbing back through this, but gotta make sure I don't use lag on that first act. It's another one that Jill or anyone could have came along and tied at any point. This one also was worrisome for that, because this is just by the extended hit window fret trick glitch sticks. Yeah, and at least this one says it, but yeah, obviously this is completely unachievable without lag. This score is not completely unattainable without lag. It's basically the same thing as John the Fisherman though. The squeeze, the second act double squeeze, is absolutely insane. It is like a frame perfect extended hit window, obviously, act with 2 whammies. So the score is beatable, but like, yeah, this was definitely lag. I mean, I don't really need to sit here and dwell on this stuff. I think it's pretty obvious to anyone in the know, if he for some reason wouldn't be honest about it. I've thought about going back and redoing this song. There's just no other squeezes, so it seems kind of like, eh. This one I definitely want to redo at some point. Forgot I hadn't posted this one yet. I'm gonna dig this up. This is another one I just was just praying that nobody beat this before now, because I do not want to go back and play this shit. And coincidentally, both of the last 2 songs are where things can get mildly contentious. This song has an inaccurate formula accounting for the bigger squeeze path and not the nearly ideal and above. Now, it really doesn't matter all that much, with one exception. So the first act double squeeze on the PS2 version would get you 200. On Xbox, it gets you 600. Now, why I don't think this matters all that much is because the first act, you know, it's up there with like what I described with John the Fisherman and Red Lottery. It's just fucking ridiculous frame data wise. It's like a 2-frame window with 3 whammies on it, which is part of the reason I decided to redo this on PS2 instead of Xbox. The main reason was to get 510, and also again because the adjustment score just favors PS2 due to the incorrect formula for nearly ideal and upper bound. But yeah, that all is just to say that until that first act gets hit on, specifically on Xbox, this is a complete non-issue, it doesn't matter. The second act is actually different on Xbox because it includes an extra phrase, but that phrase doesn't have any whammy on it. So all it ends up doing is bringing the front end forward, which in my opinion makes it easier because you just don't have to wait quite as long into the song. It's pretty much, it doesn't matter at all either way. I just want to clear this up because this 510-90 score is essentially 518-566 on Xbox. And because it doesn't interact with the first act in any way, there's really no room in my mind or opinion for that to be really contentious. I just wanted to clear that up. So yeah, until that first act gets hit, specifically on a run with any of the other 2 squeezes, then this isn't an issue, but we can deal with that if that day ever comes, I guess. But that is, in my opinion, completely undebatably Untied. And this one is the most contentious, I think. This still, in my opinion, is Untied because on PS2, this is Untied. This is a lagged score, obviously. Now, why this is contentious is because, especially when you're just looking at the adjusted formula, ScoreHero has this tied with the Xbox version. Now, the Xbox version has an extra act, but it only has the 1 double squeeze, where the PS2 version has 2 double squeezes, and the second one is a lot harder. So, in my opinion, this should not be calculated this way, and the PS2 version is much, much more difficult to get optimal on. But even if you disagree with that, it's still Untied on PS2, and that's the only real direct comparison you can make. Now we'll go to the Xbox scores here. Might go back for that, either seeing if 232 is just maybe possible, but I doubt it, or more likely fishing for the upper bound act. Is another one that could have been tied to this point. Same with this, but at least there's room for expansion that I know of. I already looked at this. And I think this is the last one that needs highlighting. And yep, I believe that is all that I need to highlight here. Nope, forgot about these. Now that's everything. So yeah, quite a ride this has been. This month in particular has been very rough because, as I said, all of these things that I needed to do to go for this were just so fucking hard. Pushed me harder than I ever thought I would go in this game. I mean, especially like if you had told me last year when I was grinding that Misirlou FC, you know, it took like 2 hours and that felt like forever back then just because I hadn't done anything like this in so long. But if you had told me then that I would be shooting for like that optimal next year, I really don't know what I would have thought. Anyway, yeah, there's still things that I want to go for in this game, and this is also not even addressing that I haven't gotten RGH, so there's 20 or 18 DLC songs that I haven't touched, and there's still life in this game. The fact that we're still pushing these scores without using the lag glitch like this is a testament to how deep and intricate this game is. I've been saying this for a while now. It is essentially impossible to play this game perfectly because of the early whammy mechanics and all of the different abuse you can do with it. And so most of these songs, the majority of these songs, will never be like optimized. And I think that's really fucking cool. So yeah, I still have stuff that I want to keep going for, and I hope other people keep pushing this game as well.